1 inch, huh? Recognize this?
I sure do. A kitchen pass-through. I've done a few of these in my day.
And I saw it on your show, and that's how I learned to do it. Gave me the inspiration. Really opens the kitchen into the living room.
It sure does. It looks great.
And another show I saw was crown molding.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, it was quite easy. I wanted the pre-finished crown molding on top of the cabinets. The whole thing took me maybe a couple of hours.
Looks pretty good.
Until I came to the very last piece. Right here. I just could not get those cuts, no matter what I tried. I spent no less than 3 hours. Got frustrated and decided to ask this whole house.
Well, a corner cabinet is really great because it opens up the corner. Otherwise, it would be a dead corner. But it's always difficult to figure out the angles because sometimes when the walls meet, they're not at a 90 degree, which in turn makes these two angles difficult to figure. Now, I did notice that you started from the outside working in. What I like to do is start from here and work out. Now, you don't have a lot of crown molding here on this bank of cabinets. My suggestion would be, let's take the crown molding down right here, and I'll show you the way I like to do it.
Great, let's go.
All right. All right, what I want to do is remove this crown molding, but I want to remove it carefully because we might be able to reuse it. It's up there with some brads. Okay, that's up there pretty good. Most people think that this cabinet in the corner is set at exactly 45 degrees. So they would set their saw at 22.5 degrees to cut the crown molding to bisect the angle.
And that's exactly what I did, and it didn't work.
Well, that's because lots of times this isn't a true 45 degree angle. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to find that angle. I took a board and I cut it in half. I'm going to take one of the boards and I'm going to hold it flat on the ceiling and tight to the face of the cabinet. I'm going to bring it into the inside corner till it stops. Take the second board and hold it flat up against the trim here and right into the inside corner. Now I'm going to mark the outside edge where the two boards meet. All right, let me show you what I have here. When I hold the two boards together, right here where the two boards meet is the inside. I bring the board to the two pencil lines right here. This is the outside. Now if I draw a line between this point and this point, I now have a bisected angle, and that's what I would set my saw at. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my square and draw a line from the inside here to my pencil line, put the two boards together, and cut them at the same time. Put the boards on my saw, and I turn the saw until my laser line lines up with the pencil line, and then I make my cut. All right, let's see how we did. Holding the board flat on the ceiling and tight to the cabinet. Bring the two together. And that miter is nice and tight. Now this is the angle that we will miter our crown molding for in this corner.
And we can use that for the other side, right?
Well, let's check it and see. Nope, we're going to have to do the same technique to establish the angle for this miter in this corner because it's a little bit different. Now that we've established the angles to miter our crown molding, I need to get the length. So I'm going to measure from this inside corner right here to this inside corner right here, and I have 16.5 inches. Now I'm ready to cut the crown. I'm going to use the block to set my saw to cut the left miter. Now, the crown molding will sit on the wall like this. I need to put it in the saw upside down like this. Think of the fence of the saw as the cabinet and the bed of the saw as the ceiling. And now, holding it tight to both, I make my cut. Now I want to measure for the length. I'm going to measure along the back and the bottom. Put my tape on. Mark 16.5 inches. Now I'm ready to use my other block to set the right hand miter. Okay, let's see how it fits. Now I want the crown molding to end up right in the corner here and right there. All right, let's tack it in place with a pin. Let's see how the miter fits. Okay, that's good, nice and tight. Now I want to mark for the length. I'm going to take my pencil and mark the back of the molding. I also want to make sure I have the right orientation, so hit the mark right here. I'm going to mark an orientation that way. That's the angle for my miter. Now I want to mark the end piece, hold it on the cabinet, mark the back of the molding, and also the orientation for which way I want to make my cut. Now I want to check the cabinet to see if it's square. Hold a framing square up against the face of the cabinet, and it's not. So I have to find this angle. To do that, I'm going to use 2 gauge blocks. Hold one tight against the ceiling and tight against the face of the cabinet. Second one tight against the face of the cabinet and tight against the gauge block. Mark the inside and the outside. Now, where these 2 lines meet on each outside edge is my bisected angle. Put the blocks on the saw and turn the saw until the laser line lines up with my pencil line. Now I'm ready to make my cut. Let's see how it is. Okay, that's the angle that will cut our outside miter. Now we're ready to start installing the molding. First thing I want to do is I want to put a bead of glue right on the inside miter. I'm going to tack it in place. Okay, now the outside miter. A little more glue. Okay, tack this.
Well, I think that's it, Bill. What do you think? Looks fantastic, Tom.